Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of my F123 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 3 today for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. If you did miss the last one at Saudi Arabia, go check that one out. It was an incredible race for us. Not only did we get into Q2 in our second qualifying ever for this team, we actually went on to score some points in the main race thanks to some really good pace around there. I mean, it is my best track and I always do well there against the AI, so that was very nice. But I'm not really expecting anything like points today. We can, however, sign a new sponsor, which will bring us closer to consistent points. And we're going to go with Utrepi, because complete a race with no DNFs, that's pretty simple, isn't it? And we have finally added the sponsored decals, I think, for both sponsors, and we are also going to get spec 1 on the fabrication for our chassis department, because our chassis is not very good. We are second worst, only above Haas, and we can only do one upgrade at a time, so we are trying to change that to 2. Aerodynamics, we are still pretty bad, so we will have to save up some money to purchase aerodynamics facility upgrade. Engine, though, we are cooking, which is not great because Imola is not really an engine track, to be honest, but we take what we have. We should be rapid on the main straight as well. We get some more cash in the claim from that driver event or department event or whatever they're called. But as I was saying, I think last race was kind of a one-off. We were very quick around there. It is my best track, so obviously we're going to be quick. So we are just going to get these upgrades on the car, as we have quite a few resource points. We can do a minor fuel efficiency upgrade in time for the Imola Grand Prix, which is good because you never want to be running out of fuel. And we get a department event which gives us even more resource points for free, so that's brilliant. And with those resource points, I'm not sure if we can actually purchase anything. Oh, we can purchase a major engine power upgrade, but that will be for after Monaco. But that would put us as the quickest car on the grid in terms of the engine, which is unheard of. Obviously that will only be coming on in quite a long while, as we get a bunch of failed upgrades here, which is very irritating for us, as it halts our development. But as I was saying, by I think it is the Canadian Grand Prix, we should have the best engine on the field, so that is incredible for a season 1 my team car. And we are still looking for that extra bit of performance, as we see on the R&D chart. It's Red Bull from Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, Aston, then Alpine, and then it's more us, Haas, Williams, Alfa Romeo, us, and we are still pretty much level with Alpha Tauri. Those failed upgrades are not really helping. We could be probably closer to Alfa Romeo right now, but there was a long gap, so everyone has brought upgrades to the Imola Grand Prix. Not a single team not bringing in upgrades. As we head now to qualifying, we are probably going to be towards the back. I mean, I don't go nearly as well around Imola as I do around Saudi Arabia, but yeah, this should be a much more difficult race and qualifying and weekend altogether. I wouldn't really expect Q2 and definitely not points, to be honest, but we'll see how we can get on as we get ready to do our first set of laps. I mean, Imola, for me, can be a bit of a touchy track for AI, like making mistakes and stuff and crashing. They tend to go for moves where you shouldn't really go for moves, if you know what I mean. So hopefully we don't have too much of that. As you're watching on board for our lap, we go a little bit wide there, cost us a touch of time. And as we cross the line, it is last place, quite a long way off Lance Stroll, 1.3 second gap. And as we get back into the pits, we're going to have to go again. We did fuel up for 2 flying laps, so we don't actually have to go back into the pits. Williams are just ahead of us, as Albon is right up our gearbox as we start our qualifying lap, as he finishes his. And we are already a 10th up through the first corner, but it's not really nice being followed by Albon, scaring me a little bit, because I keep looking behind me hoping that he doesn't put his nose in. But don't know if you saw last time, but we had a really poor hairpin, so we gained a bunch of time there, braking later. Same with this corner, we can brake much later than we did before. And as we get there onto the line, we have an 8.5 tenths improvement, and it puts us P20, so we are ahead of Sargent and Albon. And we go back to the pits because we have now run out of fuel. Our teammate in P17 is a back row lockout right now for Williams, who did bring upgrades into this race weekend, so clearly not working too well for them. As we go for our 3rd lap of the day. Again, this one I think is on a new set this time, because we're trying to get ourselves in the top 16, or at least in somewhere away from the back row. But the AI are pretty fast today, a lot faster than they were at Saudi Arabia, so we're going to have to keep pushing. And we have found a lot of time on this lap. We are 9 tenths up. It's going to be nearly a second as we head now into the final sector. We get good braking late and traction, and it's really nice final 2 corners. We've run a tiny bit wide at the end of the final corner, and where will it put us? P18, so it's not the worst result in the world. It could have been a lot better. I felt like even though on both laps we found almost a second, there was still a lot more time to find. Not really to do with the car, more to do with my pace. Our teammate just knocked out by Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, under half a tenth in it there. For us, it was about 1.5 to get into Q2. As I said, Imola, not a strong track for me. Out-qualified by our teammates, so the AI are not slow today. Liam Lawson, not slow either. He's out-qualifying the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg and Logan Sargent in the Williams, who are 2 cars very much quicker. As we go to 5 red lights, the Imola Grand Prix is underway. It's a long hold and a decent start for Max Verstappen, who's already ahead of Charles Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc gets a better traction. He's going to be side by side headed into turn 1 on the outside. Can he sweep round? He can, and he takes the lead of the Grand Prix from Max Verstappen in the first corner. Again, like in Saudi Arabia, showing good pace, and Pierre Gasly breaking his front wing in the first sequence of corners. As we cut back to us, we had a semi-decent start. We lost 1 position to Logan Sargent, who had an absolute blinder from last on the grid. Fernando Alonso had a penalty of some sort, and he started in P21, I think, as he tries to go up our inside. We leave him space, and it's nice and clean. He is on the hard tyres and looking very fast. I mean, the Aston Martin obviously a lot quicker than these backmarker cars that we are driving around. As we close back up to Logan Sargent, almost able to make a move from so far back, and we just stayed put. We didn't really want to full send it, because you can't really send it there. But this is Carlos Sainz breaking his wing in a similar way to Pierre Gasly did on lap 1. He's done it on lap 2, so both of them, as you might have seen, are in the pits. and are going to be in last place. So that's another free position for us as we get overtaken by Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. It was a matter of when, not if, really, because he was looking rapid even on the highs. And they're looking very quick in the race all of a sudden. As we try and go around the outside of him, he broke pretty early there, and because of that, we panicked, went trying to go around the outside, and we went really deep. And now Ricciardo's passed us. Tsunoda wants to too, but he's not fully alongside, so we can just cut across and cover the position. As we see Max Verstappen, who lost the lead of the race on lap 1, going for it back again, and he takes it successfully, as our teammate is fighting with Daniel Ricciardo for P18. They're getting very, very racy up there, and we're going to try and get involved, but the AI are rapid. So every single time off the back of that corner, Tsunoda just wants to overtake me, and me having to leave him room, we lose time. But that was a real big squeeze. I don't know if you saw it up ahead from Liam Lawson as he locks up as well. But he really squeezed Daniel Ricciardo off the road into a flat out corner, which just made them both lose a lot of time, and now there's a big old gap to the cars in front. And Sainz and Gasly are closing in pretty fast, but we see Charles Leclerc doing a copycat move of what he did on lap 1 to retake the lead from Max Verstappen in very, very good fashion. But Ricciardo has pulled away from Lawson now that he's got past, and Tsunoda's trying to overtake us, so we're going to have to burn battery to defend from Tsunoda. And we get the slipstream, and we pick it up, and oh my god, it's a calamity. We've lost our front wing, the safety car is out. Trying to go 3 wide into turn 1, and it did not work at all. We've lost our front wing, we're crawling along. We've got understeer, we're going to box for a 2-stop, I guess, but it's a safety car, and on lap 7, Charles Leclerc dives into the pits, but weirdly he's pit a lap later after the safety cars come out. So if he did what Verstappen did and pit on the first lap, he would be a lot further ahead, but he's actually pit a lap behind. So he's down to like he's down to P17, and Max Verstappen's in like P10. So this is really bad for Charles Leclerc because Lawson's boxed. So theoretically, we're literally racing Charles Leclerc. But a lot of people have just boxed after that safety car, so that's a lot of free positions actually. So maybe breaking our front wing was a blessing in disguise as Lando Norris tries to attack us. We defend from him. But Charles Leclerc is rapid. He is right up the gearbox of our teammates. So is Lando Norris. He's trying to go around the inside, which turns to the outside. We squeeze him off because never any room there. We didn't actually mean to do it, but it's fair play. And we're actually going to try and overtake Charles Leclerc here with our brilliant engine we have in the back of this car. And we are going to go to the outside of Charles Leclerc into turn 1, do what he did on Max Verstappen, and now we dive bomb on our teammate from so far back. That was an outrageously late braking move, and points are right in front actually, as we ask about our teammate on the radio, but he is rapid and he's coming back at us into turn number 1. So is Charles Leclerc, so we have to leave him room on the inside, allowing Lawson to pull away a little bit through that section of corners. Now I can only apologise again, I've lost footage, but we've fallen down to last place. We just have no pace on the hard compound tyres, and George Russell takes the lead here, but it's not legitimate because he actually doesn't. Lando Norris holds it around the outside, but it's not legitimate because both of them need to box more than Verstappen does. But yeah, we had no pace on the hards, and the only person we were battling was Yuki Tsunoda and Sargent and Ocon, who just come into the pits. But we weren't very far ahead, and Tsunoda had really good straight line speed, and we didn't have any pace. We fell away from our teammate pretty fast. But this is a legitimate pass for the lead. Max Verstappen on Lewis Hamilton. We've said it in the past, we're saying it now. Verstappen takes the lead at the race from Hamilton, and we try and re-overtake Tsunoda, who overtook us a couple of laps before. We have slipstream and DRS, but it isn't going to be enough. We're going to have to use quite a fair bit of battery here. I thought it'd be a sitting duck there, but we do get the move done, and up into P17, a slight wobble of oversteer on the back end of the car, and that'll allow Yuki Tsunoda to close back in a little bit, but not enough to really do damage. But look how far back Tsunoda is. He's 8 tenths, but with DRS, he's just going to catch and catch and catch. He's going to go to the outside. We're going to be side by side. He sweeps around the outside from 8 tenths back. We almost broke DRS to him, but he just went flying past. And Albon now, Ocon even, is trying to go for the move. And he goes on the outside. The AI is so quick off the back of that hairpin. And it's allowing Yuki Tsunoda to almost break out of a second. But oh my god, it's late moving at the end of the straight from Yuki Tsunoda. He's literally just like completely like almost moved under braking. We had the overspeed and we were trying to go to the outside. He just put his car in the middle of the track moving very late, and we do get the move done on lap 25 this time, and up into P17. Our teammate only one position ahead, but we have a bit of a train forming behind us of Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon, and I think Daniel Ricciardo at the back end of it. And we see another change in lead potentially at the end of the lap, as he almost sends on the inside Yuki Tsunoda, but he backs out last second. I actually think it's better not to go defensive, because the AI don't normally go up the inside, but never mind. Yuki Tsunoda absolutely sending it on the outside, on the inside of the fast chicane, still side by side through the exit of the hairpin. Going to be side by side up the hill all the way into this next corner, where we do maintain the lead of the race, but not really, as Ocon got past Tsunoda before, but he's going to go for it on us, and the AI is just so rapid at that corner, there's nothing I can do. As we chase after that Alpine, who is pulling away almost outside of a second on the next lap, and we have a DRS failure, so we can't, even though we've fallen out of the DRS range, there's no point fighting for it. Ocon is gone. The best we can get in this race is now P18, because we have no pace. We're just holding everyone up. And that is Albon and Tsunoda both going for the move. We block Tsunoda off. Albon goes for it, but Tsunoda backs out. We're down to 3% on the ERS, as he almost considers sending Tsunoda, gets all crossed up, and now Logan Sargent is overtaking him. But now both of them side by side heading into turn 1. Only 3 laps to go. We're going to try and hang on to this as much as we can, and we do hang on to it for just another lap. But on this penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Tsunoda's fallen away a lot. Mark was on the radio saying he had an issue with his car, like an engine issue, but Logan Sargent is still right there. He is fighting, and he gets through because we let him with DRS. We play a bit of DRS chicken, and it seems to work, because we have the slipstream to head into turn 1 ahead of the Williams, because we knew he would just be all over us if we just allowed him to have the DRS headed into turn 1, and he would get clean past us for sure. So we had to play it smart there, as Max Verstappen wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and it's not his first win of the season, in fact his third win in a row. Charles Leclerc has nearly stopped him twice now, but he hasn't done it once, so not much you can do. I think it's a Hamilton P2, but we're still focused in on our battle because Logan Sargent is only 3/10 behind. We're checking to see what position our teammate is in, but on the outside goes Logan Sargent into turn number, I don't know, but he gets the elbows out and he takes P19. We're trying to get back with battery, but it won't be enough, and we will have to take P20.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
So there you have it, boys, and a painful Grand Prix in Italy. I mean, Imola's not my favourite track, to be honest. I seem to always have it in career modes and never enjoy it. I'm not sure if we'll have it for season 2, but Charles Leclerc, the absolute Ferrari strategy today, has put him in P7. Carlos Sainz damaged his wing on lap 1, went all the way down to P21, 20 seconds back from the rest of the field, and yet he still managed to finish P3. Valtteri Bottas also pulling a blinder in P6 in the Alfa Romeo, so that is unbelievable from him. And what it says for the standings is we're in P12, Valtteri Bottas overtakes us in the standings, so Alfa Romeo will also overtake our team in the standings. So, of the back markers, we're in P2. Well, really, we're ahead of one of the midfield teams. I'd say Alpine aren't really a back marker, but there you have it, boys. That has been the episode. If you did enjoy it, subscribe for more F123 career mode videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.